Hello, everyone. This is another episode of the Script Awards podcast. It's a specific podcast by the Script Awards Los Angeles script competition to take more time to dive into the background and the work of script writers. We have today Danielle Olson with us. Danielle, you won the film festival, the script festival, I think in 2023, and you're back now on the podcast. And it's the first time you and I meet and talk. I'm very happy to meet you. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. How are you?
Pretty good. It's a sunny day, and I have a lot of questions for you. First,
Thank you.
I read your profile on the submission platform and all of that. You work in insurance, but for film and TV. Tell me about it,
Yes.
please. We all need insurance, and we usually don't have
Yes.
one.
Yeah. So I've been working on film and TV insurance for about 15 years now. So I assess risk and price insurance for all kinds of productions from animation, live action, and all sorts of sizes too. So it could be $1 million budget to $100 million budget. So that's really my day job and what helps me fund my passions, if you will. So
I relate.
yeah, it's a fun
So,
gig. Like if you work in insurance to do the film and
and
TV side.
you get to become a specialist in one area that usually filmmakers underestimate or even underuse. So I
Yeah.
guess it's giving your specialist in an asset that everyone needs. And I believe you're a really smart person because you have a master's in business management, you have a bachelor in administration, and you'll soon have another master's in 2D animation. Am I correct?
Yes, I'll be done with that program in spring of 2027. So that one's taken a little time because I've been working full time. So I started it in 2021 and then I'll be done in 2027. I could only take like one class a semester because I work full time. So
Tell me a little bit more about your background. Where do you come from? Maybe where do you live, the state or the city, so we can understand better how you came to be a scriptwriter.
So I'm originally from the Antelope Valley, California area. So that includes Lancaster and Palmdale, California. It's a desert community or city outside, like about an hour and a half outside of Los Angeles. And then I moved to Burbank, California when I was going and took my first bachelor's degree when I went to college. And I've been in the Burbank, North Hollywood area ever since then. And growing up, I loved writing stories and like essays and things that I would like print out and give to my family at like Easter or like Christmases and stuff like that. I think my aunt, she said she had like one of my essays like in her like file in her files still. and So I've always done that, like a lot of writing in my journals. I do a book review blog as well. So I review books and like to write about them. So I have a lot of hobbies as it relates
So
to
writing has always been something you were comfortable with and that you used as a tool to express yourself, I guess.
yes.
Was there a moment in time or an event or anything that kind of pushed you to consider yourself a script writer or maybe a book writer, something that was not just journaling, but
Mhm.
going into tackling a story with a beginning, a middle, and an end?
Yeah. So it was actually working in film and TV insurance because part of it is reading scripts every day. So I look through the scripts to see what kind of stunts there are. And so reading through those scripts, I'm like, you know what? I really want to write something of my own. So my job actually inspired me to start writing. But then it was also the year that what would have been my mom's 60th birthday. And so I wanted to write something to honor her at the same time. So it was like both work and family kind of inspired me to actually start writing scripts.
You were part, because you won in 2023 with the Script Award Los Angeles. You've been part of the roundtable the competition does after I think it's every 3 months they do the competition now.
Yes.
And you've been part of that. And I heard a piece of your participation to the roundtable where you explain that it's a very personal story, novels inspired by the passing of your mother. Do you want to share a little bit about that, the origin of where that project comes from?
Yeah. So, as I mentioned, so in 2023, that's when I submitted the script to Script Awards Los Angeles. But it was also when I wrote it. So my mother would have been 60 years old in November of that year. And I usually like to write a little, something to honor her every year, whether it's a poem or like a blog post on my blog or whatever it is. And so I decided to write a script, and I wanted it to be about like creating a world where everyone could say goodbye to their family. Because I lost my mom very suddenly, so I didn't get to say goodbye, and I didn't get to mend things with her because, I was a teenager then when she died, and, teenagers and their mothers aren't always on the best of terms. So I created, yeah, I know. So I created a world where everyone could say goodbye. So that was kind of like the first inspiration. And then I think I was watching Inside Out when when I was inspired by it. So that's where the marbles idea came from. Each person in this world is given a jar of marbles at birth, and each marble is a day of their life. So at the end of the night, at midnight, one of those marbles will disappear, which is, represents one day of your life gone. And so you'll know the exact day that you're gonna pass away, based on how many marbles.
And I guess it brings a very useful information. So when you know how much time you have, you're going to be driven to make it count. But also, does the script talk about the fact that it may be stressful to know and kind of thinking about it all the time when we usually live our lives without thinking about it?
Yeah, so the characters, so we have a mother, a daughter, and a father that we're following in this world. And the mother is obviously the one that she's stressed about, preparing for her death. She doesn't really want her daughter to know, her teenage daughter to know, because she wants her daughter to be happy. So it's like that conflict of, when do I tell my daughter that, that I'm about to be gone? And like, how do I prepare for that? How do I prepare my family for that? So that's kind of the mother's struggle. And then the daughter's struggle is, well, first of all, she's a teenager, so she's kind of already in her own world. So she's really just focused on herself. And then she discovers her mom only has a few marbles left. So then she wants to do all these things with her mother, things that she thinks you should do at the end of your life. Like, like outdoor adventures that maybe you haven't gone on, or trips you haven't gone on, places you haven't seen, things that you might think you want to do before you die. Yeah. But the mother just wants to be home, with her family. And both viewpoints are very, there's no wrong answer to what you want to do at the end of your life. But that difference in opinions is going to be interesting in the film between the daughter and the mother.
Tell me a little bit more about the characters. A mother, a father, and a kid, correct?
Yes.
So, are you the kid in the story?
I kind of based her off of me a little, like how I was at that age, 13 years old, and wanting to do everything, achieve everything, have all these hobbies, and always on the go. And obviously the mother is based off of my mother. So the character designer actually took a photo of my mother and designed her based off of that photo. And then the father character just somehow ended up looking like my dad. I didn't give a photo to the character designer of what my dad looks like.
Okay.
He just happened to design it that way. So I thought that was really funny.
Did he base the design from the script? Was the script descripting, kind of depicting someone looking like your father?
No. So it was just somehow she made a version of my dad. I mean, the version we have, he's a little more buff than my dad is. So, but the facial features and the hair color and stuff looks almost exactly like my dad. And I thought that was like a funny story of how that character came to be.
How did that make you feel? Because I don't know. Did you think it was some form of fate? Did you see a message in that? Did you see a sign?
It definitely felt like fate. So when she showed me the characters for the first time, I was gonna cry, honestly. And then because I was like, I see my mother, I see my dad, I see a little bit of myself in that, that teenage character. So it was like, a happy family together. It was a very emotional when I saw those for the first time, and I didn't want to change anything. She asked me if she's like, do you want me to change anything? And I just felt like they were really solid characters, and I already felt super connected to them.
You have a website that is marblesfilm.com, and all the character designs are there, every character, and you can see them in different positions. Like they do in animation, you can see how they move, some of the positions they're going to have. You have some props, all of that. First, it's very pretty. It's very cute. But also, to me, just scrolling on the website, it looks like the characters, as they are designed, work really well all together. And there's a sense of unity, something that really connects, that honestly makes me want to see the movie. So the movie's not made yet. It's in production or pre-production. Where are you at?
We are in pre-production right now. We're actually almost done with storyboarding and animatics. And then we're going to be going into production in July. We have several animators that have come on board and they're ready to roll once July rolls around. So the goal is to finish the film by 2028. If earlier, if we can do it earlier, that would be great. But 2028 is like my hard deadline. I actually chose 2028 because that's also the year my mom will turn 65. So
it would be
I kind of
want.
Yeah.
Yep. So why it's a short film, correct? Because the script is 15 pages. The one I have, the version I have at least. So it's going to be a short film.
Correct. Yes.
Why? I mean, I know a little bit about animation, but why is it going to take that long to animate and create?
Well, a lot of the team, this is a freelance gig, so it's not their full-time job. So I just, and I want to, so part of that is like we all have a limited amount of time and we all have full-time jobs. So it's going to be like in the evenings and weekends when we have time to work on it. And then also funding. So I can only, out of my own pocket, I can only pay a certain amount each month. And then also, it generally takes a long time to make animation. So you add those factors in. So
it makes total sense. I just wanted to understand a little bit of your budgeting or logistics wise and how you produce it. It makes a lot of sense to delay it because you don't have a set budget. You're delaying the spending of what it costs months after months after months.
Exactly. If I had an unlimited budget, it'd probably be done by now. So
it looks to me, sounds like you're doing a lot of progress and it's moving forward on a consistent at a consistent pace, and that's really good in any type of filmmaking. You mentioned her a few times, the character designer. So she's a woman because you said she. How did you find her? Because I guess you have a script, you have a story that's very personal. You need to find someone who you're going to connect with at a minimal level. So she's going to be able to convey the story you want to convey in the way you want it. So how did you find her?
She's my neighbor. And she's an amazing artist. She does backgrounds and concept art. And so she is, she's very talented and she's my neighbor. So we were talking about it, I think over, we usually have a 4th of July barbecue, like the whole apartment complex together. And we were talking about it and she's like, yeah, I'll help. The other team members I found mostly through LinkedIn, through the Women in Animation group. I, put it out there that I was looking for like background designers, prop designers, storyboard artists, and a lot of people initially volunteered when I didn't have a budget yet. And so they were doing a lot of this stuff for free for a while, which I will be eternally grateful for. So, and then once I got the budget, I wanted to make sure they were getting paid something. I wish I could pay them more because they're all so amazing. But I do what I can. And, if we make enough money through our Kickstarter campaign later this year or mid this year, then I'll be able to pay them more. So
we'll go back to the Kickstarter campaign in a bit. So you're gonna have a master's in 2D animation. So you are taking one class. What's your ambition in that? Do you want to become an animator? Do you want to understand better how animation works so you can work with other people? What do you have in mind doing this
so
master's?
the goal of getting that master's was to learn like different parts of the animation process, what I like to do myself and what I can or can't do. I discovered through, this program that I definitely, my strong suit is not character design. So I definitely don't want to do that myself. I want to hire, artists that can do that, really well. The classes I've really liked taking are storyboarding, like building the story, trying to look at different camera angles and different ways to tell the story visually. So those have been my favorite classes. But, I've learned a lot through the program as a whole and like trying to understand what each person does in the animation pipeline.
You mentioned earlier the movie Inside Out. And did you have any other reference in mind when writing the script? Or maybe other references that you gave to the character designer or to the team helping you so they can understand the design, the world, the vibe of it?
Yeah. Most of my references are Pixar references when I talk to the team because Pixar is one of my favorite animation studios. But I do reference Up a lot, like the first, that first 5-minute sequence, especially like with the music is beautiful. So whenever I'm thinking of the film, I think of like Up a lot. So, and a lot of the shorts too, like Bow, really love that short film. So a lot of my inspiration is the Pixar films, both feature and short film.
So I'm guessing, correct me if I'm wrong. It sounds like it's going to be an animation movie for adults more than it is for kids. And it's going to be very emotional. Am I right?
Yeah. I think, yes, adults will definitely resonate with it more. It's a very tough topic. It's almost a play on terminal illness. And, there's a lot of people who have dealt with that. And so it's very adult driven, but children can still watch it. I think maybe teenagers, that kind of age range. I don't think, people under 10 might appreciate it. So,
which brings me to a question from the perspective of film festivals. Usually animation is going to be a genre or a medium that we believe is destined to kids. But I've been organizing film festivals and screenings for a long time, and we've started a few years ago to show animated movies in the actual mainstream every genre block, so for grown-ups. And the response they have is usually amazing. Whether it's stop motion, 2D, 3D, when writers, animators, directors, creators use animation as a medium, like Guillermo del Toro says, and not as a genre, suddenly everybody remembers that animation is just a design applied to a story and not an actual genre. Like horror is a genre, thriller is a genre, but they are live action films. animation, you can do a thriller in animation. You could do Indiana Jones in animation, whatever. So when you wrote the script, did you have it in mind to be animated from the get-go, or was it something you've seen live action at some point?
No, I have envisioned this as animation the entire time because I love animation. Growing up, I also loved to draw, so I was writing and drawing. Most of the time, I would draw characters from my favorite, animated shows from that time. So there was a lot of SpongeBob, a lot of Winnie the Pooh, Rugrats, Wild Thornberrys. I would just draw characters all the time. So my love of animation is like why I was like this. My first script is going to be an animated film, and I probably will stay in the working on animation because I love it so much. But yeah, I mean, I submitted the script to several festivals, and some of the judges' feedback was thinking that it could be a live action, which it could be. It could be a live action, but it's not. Live action isn't what I love, so that's why I chose animation.
If live action, maybe you would immediately become much more dramatic. You know what I mean? Because animation, and that may be personal, I don't know. Animation, you can have a lot of emotion, but it's sweet. It's not something that's thrown at you. When it's a live action with real actors, the same story can become very dark suddenly because it's people, so it's relatable. You know what I mean? So do you feel, how would you describe animation as a tool to tell the story you want to tell it? What draws you to animation, to that technique, to that medium?
I mean, I love the idea of creating something through drawings. And to me, that's just like such a beautiful art form. I mean, all art forms are beautiful, but I feel like animation, it's so intimate with, the animators who are animating it. Like they're essentially the actor, they're the ones acting through a pencil instead of like, in front of a camera. And I feel like it's so much harder to draw emotion and make it be believable versus an actor, acting in front of a camera. Both are amazing. Don't get me wrong, but there's just like such a
definitely. I get you.
Yeah.
And drawing and animation is kind of a free way to the emotion to connect with the viewer. And from the creations, even when you start drawing it, whatever tool, digital, pencil, whatever you use, you're creating something right away. It's not portrayed by an actor. It's immediate. That's how I feel. But again, it's very personal. I love animation too. Do you have any, maybe it's too early, do you have any strategy in mind? Festivals you want to go to? You've applied to competitions and festivals with a script. Do you have in the back of your head, in the back of your mind, some objectives you want to reach once you'll have the film in a couple of years?
I actually have a spreadsheet that I've created, so I've been logging them. I'm very like I don't know if it's type A, but like I have to have things organized and prepared, and also like researching a lot. So I've been researching and putting a list of festivals together where there's been successful short films like Snow Bear, The Retirement Plan, The Girl Who Cried Pearls that recently won the Oscar for best short film, animated short film. So I've been kind of, cyber stalking them a little bit and like trying to figure out like what their marketing strategy is from just following their social media posts. And so when I see that they got accepted to a festival, I write that down. And I think the Retirement Plan team, they actually made a YouTube video of the festival run for them and like what that looked like. So, and they animated it, which was really fun. But yeah, so I definitely have a plan, a festival plan, and it's going to be pretty extensive. And I'm very excited for that time. I wish it would come sooner, but I need to be patient.
Yeah, you need, but again, you're creative and every step is going to take time. What's the next step? You are going to be raising money through a Kickstarter campaign. So
Yes.
right now you're going to be asking soon for people's support so you can keep pushing that film into production. Can you tell us more about that?
The team and I were in the process of building the Kickstarter campaign. So we're, my background in prop designer, she's working on some visuals for it. My character designer, she's working on an exclusive Kickstarter art print that you'll only be able to get from the Kickstarter campaign. So we're gonna have our goals and our stretch goals in there, and then the goal is to start or to initiate the Kickstarter campaign maybe in June, right before the animators start, and then hopefully we'll get as many donations as possible. For me, all of that would go to the artists and making sure that they're getting compensated for all the hard work they're doing, and a lot of the rewards are going to be art prints. So we're going to have art prints, stickers, and then you can buy into a Marbles art book. So we'll eventually have an art book with all of the artwork from the film that you can get. There'll be a associate producer and a producer level of donation where you get pretty much everything. So you'll get all the art prints, the stickers. So there's going to be a lot of cool stuff in there. I have an option where I will choose like a marble for everyone that, if you choose that particular donation level.
Okay.
So I'll have a marble, different colors, and it'll be the director's pick when we mail it out. And you'll have your own unique marble.
That's amazing. So you are using the actual concept of the movie to create the perks and the gifts that the people supporting you on Kickstarter are going to be doing. What are going to be the amount? Because what's going to be the starting amount we can participate, and what's going to be the maximum if I want to be an associate producer?
So the starting amount will be $1. So if you just want to donate for $1, you wouldn't get a reward or anything from that level, but that would just be to support the film. And then it'll range to 5,000. So 5,000 will be the highest producer level, and you would get like all the perks included in that producer level. So the art book, the art prints, the marble. I will also have the option of purchasing like a now I'm like blanking on the word, a personalized jar and marble painting. So like you can like work with one of our designers and design a jar and marble print for yourself, based on your personality and what colors you like. And then I also have an option of me like doing a watercolor painting of my choice. So it'll be like a surprise on what you get. Like
Okay.
it'll be related to the film. It'll be related to the film now. So there's going to be a lot of art related rewards that you can choose from, or donation levels.
Unrelated ID because of the story of your mom and the way you want to keep thinking about her every year and honor her memory all the time. Maybe some other people are going to want to do the same. So maybe supporting Marbles could be a way to have the name of a loved one on the end credit of the movie, or on a Kickstarter page, or just on a website. I'm thinking about that also because connecting with some aspect of my own life, it's just something that would be something very sweet that you could do.
Yeah.
Supporting something.
Like memory of, yeah.
Connecting, it would be a deep connection to the actual message and story of the film, to honor memory of the loved ones we had. So I'm just dropping this out there. I'm not.
That's actually a brilliant idea. I love this idea.
It's just popped up in my mind. Sorry if I'm overstepping. When are you gonna launch that Kickstarter campaign?
Probably May or June. So we're just finishing up the visuals for it, and then once the visuals are done, I'll be able to do the pre-launch page and get people to sign up via email for alerts and updates, and then launch it soon.
Okay, excellent. So we're gonna wish you. How much are you trying to collect for the campaign?
The minimum is 5,000, but we're gonna have stretch goals of that range up to 50,000. So in the Kickstarter campaign, I'll list like what that money will benefit, like what it'll go to,
where it's going to go,
yeah,
what it's going to serve.
The nature of the Kickstarter campaigns is that if you don't make your goal, you don't get any donations. So it's better to start small and have stretch goals.
And then stretch goals. It's also a good way using Kickstarter to get people involved, because as you said, we need to support you as soon as you launch the campaign, because if you don't reach your goal, that you're not getting anything. So it's also a way to convince people to engage and to donate. And I think it's a good idea. Anything else you'd like to add before we wrap, Danielle, about the script, about the project?
No, I'm just very excited to be able to talk about it more and talk about the great team we have put together. They do so much work, and honestly, they deserve all the praise. So you can check out our website and you can click on the team section, and it has all the artists that are working on the film and links to their websites and links to their, social media pages. So please follow them as well and support their work, and, because they work so hard and they're so talented.
Okay, I'm going to take another look and look at all the names and the people helping you, and send us a message. Send a message to the Script Awards Los Angeles when the Kickstarter campaign is launched, so they can post it on social media and support you further. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you very much.